Thoughts on Afrikaners receiving refugee status in the U.S. because of the genocide against white farmers in South Africa? Yeah, that's not a real thing. So this is not an expert opinion. I'm sure you can find just about anybody who can say whatever they want today, on any topic. There is obviously violence against them, but it is very difficult for me to believe it is illegal for certain people in this country to argue that what is happening in Gaza is a genocide, and that is tantamount to what is happening in South Africa, where you literally have a caged population in Gaza being starved to death and bombed to death, murdered by snipers, had their entire civil society, water systems, hospitals, schools, churches, not mosques, well, those two, but churches. I didn't see any American Christians rally for their brothers and sisters in Gaza. I thought that was kind of an interesting omission that they made. So churches being destroyed, artifacts being destroyed, homes being destroyed, that is tantamount to what is happening in South Africa is obviously a nonsensical claim, right? So we can say, in a society that has 7% of the population but owns 70% of the land, that is not the situation that is in Gaza. And again, in many cases, for certain people here, you can lose your ability to live in this country if you say what's happening over there is in Gaza is a genocide. These are not tantamount things. These are not equivalent. I can fully recognize that what is happening in South Africa, from my understanding, from hearing from South African experts on this, is they have a real fucking violence problem. And that violence problem goes a lot of different directions. But one of the directions that it goes is that white farmers in certain cases, have been the objects of attacks, robberies, death, you name it. Like, it's a terrible situation. So I can fully acknowledge that victims of any kind of crime deserve to be called victims of that crime, and such that it happens that enough we can call it a different thing. We're not going to call those two things the same. They are not. They are not the same thing. And I have to hear every day in this country that what our tax dollars are contributing to in Gaza, I have to hear from boosters that it's not genocide, that it's something else. It's an unfortunate military campaign. They're fucking shooting fish in a barrel. They're putting bullets in the heads of children. You have American doctors, in many cases, Jewish American doctors, coming back and saying they've never seen children under assault like this. You have surgeries every single day for children, and not just them, but children without anesthesia. Medical procedures. This is happening all the time. Amputations, you name it. And I am led to believe that those people are not welcome here, and that what is happening in South Africa is tantamount to that, so that they can come here. This is a big joke. This is a big joke, and I'm not going to buy into the framing, and I'm not going to take it seriously. I can take seriously that there are real victims of violence. Absolutely. There is no denying they have a violence problem, and I accept that, and I'm sorry to all those people. To the extent that we can do anything to help them, certainly we should. But the government admitted in accepting them in the press conference when they accepted them, like, why did you accept them? Like, oh, it's a little bit easier for them to assimilate. Well, why would that be? And by the way, they found one of the guys who they accepted was like a raging anti-Semite. But I'm supposed to believe that the problem is ordinary civilians, women and children in Gaza, which by the way may or may not be a genocide. Please get the fuck out of here with this bullshit.